Hi and welcome to this video from Required Systems. This video is an overview of the brand new RSL Manager system for Care for the Elderly Scotland. This is a comprehensive quality management system for care homes. It gives you all the policies, procedures and supporting forms to enable you to evidence compliance for the standards for Care for the Elderly Scotland. There are two versions of this system, one for a single care home and one for multiple care homes. I'll be demonstrating the multiple care home version here, but the way they both work is exactly the same. Okay, so you've downloaded the RSL Manager software from the Required Systems website, you've installed it on your computer, and you should find a shortcut on your desktop like this. If we double click on it, it launches the system and we get a splash screen showing the version number. The first thing it does is it checks for upgrades. If there are upgrades available, you'll be prompted, and we suggest that you always accept the upgrades. These will be downloaded from the internet and installed automatically in your system. Okay, so this is the screen you see once the software is running. We have three options here. We can start using the system. We can call up a quick start guide. I'll just click on that just now and show you. This short document takes you through how you go about setting up and using the RSL Manager. There's also an online video tour showing you how to set up and manage the homes in the RSL Manager. Okay, I'm going to start using the system by clicking here. And when you do that, you see I've already set up two care homes in my system, one called Highlander and one called Newtonmore. I'm going to select Highlander, say OK to that. And I'm now managing the Highlander care home. There are four options I can do here. I can manage the care home, setting up staff and service users. I can look at the policies and procedures and forms for that home. I can look at the staff forms and I can look at service user forms. We'll do each one of these in turn as we go through the video. Let's start off then by looking at the Manage Homes and Service Users. As you can see, I've selected the Highlander home up here, and here you'll see across the screen all the staff members of that home. Underneath are the service users. For each member of staff and for each service user we've got their picture, we've got their details of their name, what they want to be known at and their gender, and if for some reason we don't have a picture, a generic outline is put up. From this screen we can add new members of staff or new service users, we can remove them, and we can edit their details. And as this fills up, we can scroll across the screen and see the rest of the users or members of staff. We can select between homes just by clicking on the name here, and that's the details for the Newtonmore home, and going back to Highlander, clicking on there. You'll notice also there's a button up here where we can add a new home, and if we click on that we'll be prompted for the name of the new home, and then it'll go through a process of customising documents for that home, and I'll explain more about that as we go through the video. Across the top here there are a number of buttons to perform various tasks. If we click on the Master Documents button here, we get pulled up a set of all of the standards down here, and if we click on any of the standards we get the associated procedures, policies and other documents for that standard. All of the information in here is in the form of links, and these links, if you click on them, will launch Word and show you the document in Word. So for example, if I click on Principles of Care, it launches Word and there's the document in there. Links which are in blue are procedure documents, links which are in green are forms. If we want to see the forms only, if we click on here, we get a list in order of all of the forms in the system. These master documents, however, are not the documents you should be working on when you're using the system. These master documents are customised each time you create a new home, and the details of the home are inserted into the master document. These are simply supplied for reference, and you shouldn't edit or change these master documents in any way. You can of course use them for printing out blank documents which you may wish to complete by hand and store manual copies of. The Manage Homes button just allows us to get into the screen where we can add homes and add staff users and service users to the home. The Useful Links button allows us to launch a browser and look at the websites of some important organisations which may be of use to you when running your home. The References button launches the Required Systems website, and in here you will find a number of documents, again, which will be useful when it comes to the organisation and running of your home. Finally, there's a Tutorials button, and the Tutorials button allows you to watch this video and other videos associated with the Required Systems Management System. Okay, let's go back now and look at the details of the Highlander home. We can do that by clicking on here. And when we do that, we get back to the screen where we can manage our home. As I said before, this is where we can add new homes, add new users, remove them and edit their details and put in photographs. Okay, across this strip here, we have the details relating to the Highlander home. First of all, if we click on the Documents tab here, again we see the list of standards appearing down here, but this time if we click on any of these standards and click on any of the documents here, you will notice that when it launches the document, the name of the home is now inserted into the header of the document. This is done at the time when you create a new home. These are the documents you should use for Highlander Home. You can print them out, you can edit them, and you can save them. All of the documents are in Word format, and the version of Word you use doesn't really matter. Anything from Word 97 onwards through Word XP, right up to the very latest versions of Word from Office 2010. They will all work. I showed you as well the forms, and again if you look at the forms, even just looking at the contents list here, you will see that the name of the home has been put into the header. And this is a useful document because it lists all of the forms in order, telling you what they are. Another very useful feature is the search function here. Using the search function, we can search policies, procedures and forms for any word or phrase and find all of the documents with that word or phrase in it. Let's just say I'm interested in all the forms that contain the word medication in them. So I type the word medication in here. I'll deselect policies and procedures and just leave forms selected. I now click on search, and what happens is the system goes away and searches through all of the forms, finding a match for the word medication, and displays a list of the forms on the right hand side here. All of these can now be clicked on and the document can be launched and edited and saved. I'll just stop it at this point. Let's now look at the staff forms for Highlander Home. Clicking on here launches the screen with the staff forms. Down the left hand side of the screen here you will see a list of all the staff members. You can select any member of staff by simply clicking on the left hand side here to highlight them. In the right hand pane here we have a list of documents which are specific for that member of staff. This is a set of documents for each member of staff, so if I was to edit or change any of these documents and save it, when I go back to that member of staff and launch that document again, I will get the document I had previously saved. This is a very useful feature and it allows you to hold personalised documents for each member of staff. Let's look at the same thing for the service user forms. Again, down the left hand side here we see a list of all the service users. And in the right hand side here, these are the documents for that particular service user. Clicking on any of these documents, editing it, and then saving it will mean that that document is updated, so the next time you come back to it, it will be there. The key facts document is a very useful thing. By clicking on the key facts link here, we bring up a Word document which holds some very useful information about each member of staff or each service user. Again, this can be edited and saved and updated, and each time you come back to it, it'll be the new version. When you do save these documents, make sure that you use the Save button, not the Save As button, unless you wish to save a second copy of it somewhere else. Clicking the Save button overwrites the previous document was there and updates it with the information you've put in. As I said before, each member of staff or each service user can have a photograph. One of the useful features here is if we click on a photograph, we get an enlarged view of it on screen so we can see quite clearly who the person is. Let's go back to the Manage Homes tab, clicking on Manage Homes up here. Again, takes us back to the screen where we can add, edit and remove staff and service users. As I said before, there are two versions of this software. The Pro version, which I'm running here, allows you to manage multiple homes. And as you can see, I currently have 2 homes in this system. You can have as many homes as you want in the Pro system. The Standard system only allows you to manage 1 home. The other big advantage of the Pro system is that you can put the database which holds the information on a network, either in a share or on a server, and then a number of different users can access the database at the same time. That makes it a multi-user system, whereas the standard version is a single user version for a single computer. So that's a quick overview of the RSL Manager system for Care for the Elderly Scotland. The idea behind this is to make it as easy to use as possible with a simple user interface, but behind the scenes is a very powerful database managing your information. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found the contents of it useful.